Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Mikey J, and I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to be explaining why Nicki Minaj ain't the queen of hip-hop. Now, I'm expecting to receive a lot of flack, and I know I'll probably get a lot of dislikes for this video. Why, you ask? Because, Nicki Minaj has a really strong fan base, and if you talk shit about Nicki, you're pretty much bound to have her entire stance on your ass. And trust me, I myself have learned that from experience. Because once I commented this on somebody's Instagram, people shitted, they bashed me, and they just tore me to shreds in the comments by calling me an idiot, and just, they even send me death threats for this, which shows that her fan base are so toxic and annoying, and they're just fucked in the head because they probably just spend their time just licking Nicki's clit. Which proves that Nicki Minaj has like the worst fan base ever, and I gotta say, they're just basically AIDS. And as much as I don't like Nicki Minaj, and I also never been a fan of her music, but let me just explain some facts about Nicki, something y'all can't deny and something I sure as hell can't deny. Nicki Minaj was definitely the one who revived female hip-hop, and as much as I don't like her, that's just something I have to give her props for, rather if I like her or not. Because to be honest, before Nicki Minaj, female hip-hop started dwindling down a bit. Because by the time Nicki arrived on the scene of hip-hop, she pretty much popularized female hip-hop. And like, again, that's something I don't like her, but hey, I have to give her props for that. She's also the one female rapper who's accomplished a lot of things most other female MCs haven't done. From having the most Billboard Hot 100 entries amongst women in all genres, and even achieving numerous accolades, including AMA Awards, VMA Awards, Billboard Awards, even achieving a BET Award for Best Female Hip Hop Artist 7 years in a row, which is pretty insane. Now, this is the part where I get brutally honest.
Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Yeah, let's just be honest.
While Nicki Minaj may be the current biggest stars of hip-hop right now, along with her label mate Drake, however, don't let that distract you from the fact that she has a reputation for being one of the most difficult people to work with in the industry. I mean, seriously, just look at the list of people she's beefed with, from Lil' Kim, Mariah Carey, Taylor Swift, Remy Ma, Cardi B, and Kylie Jenner as well. There also have been many stories about Nicki Minaj sabotaging other female hip-hop artists just to remain her spot at the top. Well, it hasn't been proven 100%. However, there could be some truth to that, because if you look throughout Nicki's reign, there hasn't been like other female rappers who have been on her level, which could prove that Lil' Kim was right all along when she said this on an interview with The Breakfast Club back in 2012.
Nicki's my homie, but this is where my issue with Kim stemmed from. Like, Kim's the OG. And it seemed when you was coming at Nicki, you was, just being bitter and disgruntled.
But you're wrong.
You seemed like the old, you remember Players Club?
But you're wrong.
The tricky chick?
Let me tell you why you're wrong. And let me tell you why you dead wrong. Because it's deeper than that. The problem with her is she was very catty with it. I never had a problem with her. I was always nice with her. Always. She was a very obnoxious person. But I was always nice with her. From the time I saw her in that dressing room, the story she told, I don't even know what the heck she was talking about. Like, that's not even how it happened. But from the moment that I met her, I was always cool with her. But after that, it almost seems like when they realized, okay, we need Kim, we want to study her swag. That's what it kind of felt like, because I was around for a long time. And they're like, okay, let's study her swag. And, and I think they wanted to get that record just to stamp that I was okay with what was going on. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? For me, it was a break back into rotation. Mm-hmm. Into, if that would have been a big video and a big event record, it would have been good for both of us. But I personally think they didn't want me to stand beside her, which is stupid.
But it sounded like a Young Money, Cash Money thing. Like, they did that, not necessarily
but
Nicki.
You got to understand something. She was always throwing shots. I don't know what you're talking about.
I never heard it.
You need, because you're not trying to
I used to hear her pay homage, like she said. She used to say, I love Kim, I love Foxy.
You're not trying to do your homework. That's why. Boo-boo. You got to do your homework. After that whole Cash Money situation with the song, we're at Justin's birthday party. Perfect timing to come up and say, hey, we did the song together. Whoa. Nothing. And she looked at me and rolled her eyes, and I was like, really? Every single record she's made was coming at me. I don't care what you say, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you say, I don't care what nobody say. Everybody who's smart with a brain, everybody who knows music knows damn well in that Puffy record she was coming at me. I didn't say nothing about this chick. I didn't say nothing about this chick at this time. She was coming at me in the Puffy record. She was coming at me in all these records that she was doing, the Jay and Kanye rest. I didn't say nothing. She wanted to be the only female out there. So when Baby and them said, we're not fucking with this chick because you can't stand next to her, she loved it. Because she didn't want to stand next to me.
I think it's her.
She wanted to be out there by herself.
I think the industry puts women against each other all the time.
Yeah, they do. That's exactly what
happened.
happened. And my thing is, you have to be smart enough to say, yo, I don't know what they talking about, but you my bitch. Don't start coming at me in records, talking to me, just talking about me disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Indirectly. Don't do that. Let me tell you something. I'm going to leave this on this note. You will see. Everything in the dark comes to the light. That's all I gotta say.
And after all these years, Kim kept the same story and she tried telling people over and over again, but nobody would listen. And to the people who doubted her, y'all are in a huge apology because she proved that she was right all along. Because when Nicki made it look like she was supposedly paying homage to Kim, it's very clear that she was stealing it. Because if you really think about it, if you really think about it, it was very clear that Birdman and Slim were ripping off Kim's style and swag just to give that all to Nicki. And the proof that Lil' Kim had with this is that if you tell the difference between Nicki before she blew up to where she's at right now, it's very clear that she was like more hardcore and aggressive with the raps and not like this whole pink Barbie image persona that she has today.
Tell that bitch with the crown to run it like Chris Brown. She won 3 rounds, I'ma need 100,000.
And another thing is that if you look up the images of Lil' Kim and Nicki Minaj, it's very clear that Nicki was copying everything Lil' Kim was doing. And the worst part about it is that when Kim started dissing Nicki on tracks like Black Friday, people were trying to make it look like she was just this bitter OG rapper jealous of the newcomer, which wasn't true at all because all Lil' Kim was trying to do was defend her legacy, which she had the right to because it seemed like Nicki Minaj and Young Money Records were trying to destroy it. And I gotta say, this made me feel even worse for Kim because everybody started blackballing her and siding with Nicki just because she was this newcomer, even though all along she proved people wrong. And to the people who doubted her, y'all are in a huge apology because she proved to be right about Nicki all along. Plus, if Nicki truly was the self-proclaimed queen of hip-hop that everybody thinks she is, she would actually handle a beef by herself. Because if you take a look back at her feud with Remy Ma, it showed that Nicki can't handle a beef by herself. Now, I'm not really sure how this beef actually started, but I sure as hell know how it went down. It all came in 2017 when Nicki Minaj was throwing subliminal shots at Remy on tracks like Swallow, which featured Ty Dolla $ign and Jason Derulo, and Make Love, which she was featured on with Gucci Mane.
I gave these bitches 2 years, now your time's up. Bless her heart, she throwing shots, but every line sucks. Oh, you the queen of this here. 1 platinum plaque album flop, bitch, where? You see, silly rabbit, to be the queen of rap, you gotta sell records, you gotta get plaques.
And of course, this led to Remy Ma releasing the ruthless diss track Sheether, where she pretty much rapped over Nas's Ether. And I gotta say, she absolutely killed it. Throughout the diss track, she absolutely fucking destroyed Nicki and just lyrically tore her to shreds. Remy also got personal when she brings up of how her brother, Jelani Mirage, who was convicted for raping an 11-year-old girl. And she also mentions how Nicki still supported him. And the fact that Nicki still supported her brother, who was a child molester, that made her look super bad.
And I saw Meek at All-Star. He told me your ass dropped. He couldn't fuck you for 3 months because your ass dropped. Now I don't think I understand how bad her ass got. The implants that she had put in her ass pop. And I got a few words for the moms of the young barbs. Guess who supports a child molester? Nicki Minaj. And you paid for your brother's wedding. That's hella foul. How you spend money to support a pedophile?
Shit, I gotta say, that was brutal as fuck. So after 2 weeks of remaining silent, you think Nicki would respond by herself, right? No, instead she decides to involve Lil Wayne and Drake into the beef, who had nothing to do with it at all, which is kind of like the equivalent of like me getting into a fight with somebody and then I like involve my 2 older brothers into the fight, which is a very cowardly act if you ask me. And I also gotta say, the entire response was fucking whack. Like seriously, like Nicki just put like no effort into it at all. Her verse was weak, and all she just did was just compare her album sales to Remy's, which is fucking corny if you ask me. As for Lil Wayne, I couldn't even understand what the fuck he was saying throughout the whole shit.
Don't make them like me no more. Don't make them like me no more. Don't make them like me no more. Don't make them like me no more.
And as for Drake, well, Drake was there. And let's be honest, it's not even really a diss track. It's a fucking hit song, because usually a diss track would not have a chorus in it. But bottom line, Remy Ma won. Remy Ma bodied Nicki Minaj, and there's no doubt about it. And I know all Nicki stans want to deny all they want, but whether if you like it or not, Remy Ma won. And while sure another one was disappointing compared to Sheether, well, I didn't think it was bad for me, but I felt like she could have done better. But at least, Remy handled the beef by herself rather than involving people who had nothing to do with the beef. And another reason why I say Remy wins is because throughout Sheether, throughout the whole entire track, she had no breaks, no features, no chorus, just nothing but 7 minutes of pure heat, which is something Nicki Minaj did not deliver at all, which is the main reason why I respect Remy for, keeping it real hip-hop. And I gotta say, this beef didn't do so bad for Remy Ma. As a matter of fact, it actually benefited Remy because not only did she gain a lot of praise from it, but it also helped her out with a huge comeback. Hell, she even ended Nicki's streak at the BET Hip Hop Awards for winning Best Female Hip Hop Artist, which made Nicki look pretty bad. And while it didn't affect Nicki's career at all because, it's Nicki Minaj, but you gotta say, this really seriously tainted her credibility for people dubbing her as the queen of hip hop. And what made this even worse is that during the time while the beef was happening, Cardi B was on a huge buzz at the time. Now, just to be clear to y'all, I'm not a Cardi B fan, so I don't need any of you people calling me a Cardi fan and saying I'm biased for that. So please don't even bother with that and please fuck off. I always hear a lot of people, and I always kind of find it annoying how people are saying like, Nicki's overhated, she gets too much hate, people just love to ride the Nicki hate train. But to anybody who's saying that, and anybody who's a Nicki Minaj fan / stan, I just gotta tell you this, please remove your head out of her ass and stop licking her clit. And sometimes you need to realize she brings the hate on herself because of her shitty attitude, and also how she's whiny and always makes a big deal out of nothing, and also how she would always respond to the backlash she receives. Because if you're an artist, you should never respond to the backlash you receive. Hell, Drake gets a lot of hate, but you don't see him responding to the backlash he gets. And although I may not like Drake at all, but hey, I gotta respect him for doing that. Because let's not forget, last August, after the release of her fourth studio album, Queen, was released, Nicki pretty much would go on a whole temper tantrum just because her album hit #2 behind Travis Scott's Astroworld, and also selling 185 units in its first week, which is not bad at all. But still, she would go on ranting about it, even taking it to Queen Radio and blaming all that on Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner, and even their daughter Stormi.
Whole nigga of the week, of course, is Travis Scott. Woo! Travis Scott on Thursday, when he realized the Queen was about to have the #1 album in America, he and his label decided to have Kylie and baby Stormi put up a tour pass. He had her go and post and say, hey, me and Stormi can't wait to see y'all. How are you selling something that does not have anything to do with your album, but is being counted on Billboard as album sales? But what we not gonna do is have this auto-tune man coming up here selling fucking sweaters and telling y'all he sold 500,000 fucking albums, because he didn't. And it's a lot of rappers behind the scene that want to talk about it, and they're scared. But, sweetheart, I'm not scared. I'm legendary in these streets. Travis Scott, you played your fucking self also for having your fucking friend come on the internet talking up for you. You stupid fuck.
So just because her album did not hit #2, which is not bad at all, she decides to take her anger out and blame her own failures on practically everybody, blaming Spotify, Travis Scott, Kylie Jenner, even going at their daughter Stormi, who was only 6 months at the time. And the fact that she's a grown-ass woman who's pushing 40 and you're taking your anger out on a little child, that is just so pathetic and that is so unprofessional. And because of this is why people turn against her, and this is why people hate on her, because of antics like this, because how she makes a big deal out of things that are not a big deal at all and act like a fucking child over stupid shit. And it pretty much showed her true colors, because it just seems like at this point in her career, she's just jealous and envious of other people's success, which is very stupid if you ask me, because Nicki herself is an international relevant star herself. Like, she's not Azalea Banks, because, Azalea Banks is known to be quite of a huge heat magnet in a rap industry, but seriously, I always find it ironic how she always says she supports other female hip-hop artists and that she doesn't have a problem with them, but she always ends up subliminally diss them, which proves that she's just a liar and a hypocrite. And because of this is why people turn against her, because of her antics like this. And whenever she does this, it always comes back just biting her right in the ass, because if there's one thing for sure, karma's a bitch. And what goes around comes around. But anyways, I think my time here is done. Now, like what I said, I'm expecting a lot of dislikes for this, and I'm expecting the barbs to slander me in the comments by saying, you're just trying to ride the Nicki hate train. And if they do, cool, I don't care. But I dare any of you Nicki stans in the comments to try to tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, try to tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Because if you do, you'll pretty much prove my point, and you'll prove that y'all are just fucked in the head. But anyways, my time here is done. So anyways, what are you guys' thoughts on the video? Feel free to comment down below. Make sure I'll give you a big thumbs up or a thumbs down if you like it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for weekly videos. I'm your boy Mikey J, and peace.